Hi everybody, Alexis MD here, USCF gold medalist and small R judge. Today I'm going to give you some tack hacks. So these are a bunch of things that we do here around the barn that I've learned along the way or come up with that I think are super time-saving or helpful and effective, and I'm going to share them with you. And if you are using them already, I would love to hear how you learned to do these little tricks, and if you have any other really cool like tack equipment, barn stuff, hacks, I would love to hear about them. So send me a message in the comments or send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Okay, the first one is one that would have saved me a ton of time when I was a working student and a junior rider, cleaning an insane amount of tack and changing tack, and I don't know how I never learned this when I was younger, but maybe you're in the same boat and you didn't learn this either, and that is how to correctly use the hook studs on a bridle. So when you're taking these off, the way that I think a lot of people do it is by trying to pull this out of the keeper and then pulling it off the hook. And this bridle is pretty clean and flexible, so it wouldn't be that hard to do it that way. But some, if they're really stiff, then it's like almost impossible and you will wrestle with it forever. The correct way to use the hook stud is to push the leather until the hook is in the slotted part of the hole, and then pull it up, and then you pull it out of the keeper and it comes out. And when you go to put it back on, the same thing is true. You actually put it through the keeper first, and then put the hook back through the hole. And it's so much easier than trying to wrestle it out of the keeper. Okay, so this next hack is about how to put on a stud chain. So I see a lot of people putting the stud chain on just through all of the rings. I'm not going to put it through, it's faster, and then out the middle here and clip together at the bottom like that. And that's fine if you have to lunge your horse in it. It's not going to apply a really clear effect on the nose and then a release from the pressure, because it's just kind of always on because of the weight of the lead rope and it being at the bottom. And sometimes it'll have the effect, if you're trying to lead like that, that it'll twist the halter on their face, which isn't so great. And so then another way that I see commonly that people will attach them is to clip it to the ring that is on the far side of the halter here, and then put it through and put it over the nose like this. And you run into the same problem that when you pull on this end, it twists the halter and can pull it into the horse's eye. So that's not really so great either. So the way that we like to do the stud chains around here is we put it through the ring on the near side, on the side you're going to lead from, and then over the nose. Oh, gooey. Come here, buddy. And through the ring on the other side. And then under the chin, under the bottom of the halter here, so it's like inside the bottom of the halter, and then you clip it to the ring next to the near side head. And so then that way, when you're on the lead rope, if you pull on the chain, it makes an effect, and it makes a really quick release of pressure when you're not pulling. And then because it's clipped here on this side, when you pull on it, it doesn't clip, it doesn't twist the halter into the horse's eye in either direction. So it's a really great way to attach the stud chain, and I think it's much safer and much kinder to the horse. Okay, this next one is for checking the length of your stirrups. So when people check their stirrups, I see a lot of the thing where you stand in front of the horse and then try to like eyeball, are they level, are they the same height? And there's a much more accurate way to check the length of your stirrups to make sure that they're even. And you can also use it if you are riding the same saddle that someone else rides in, and then you will have in your mind like how to adjust them without having to like remember the count of the holes or anything. It's easier to remember this. So if I'm trying to check the length of the stirrup, the way that I'm going to do it to compare the two sides is to take the stirrup iron and then flip it upside down so that it's horizontal and then across the saddle flap. Or if you're really tall, it's probably going to be below the saddle flap. And I'm going to use my fingers to measure how many fingers fit between the pad of the stirrup and the bottom of the saddle flap. So I see I've got like not quite, maybe like 2 fingers on this. So then what I would do is I would go to the other side of the horse and do the same thing and see how many fingers it is, and then I would know whether my stirrups are even or not. If you're really tall and your stirrups hang down lower than the sides of the horse, or lower than the sides of the flap, then you can do the same thing, but you would compare the distance between the bottom of the flap and the bottom of the stirrup. And then you'll know whether they are the same left and right.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I have actually 2 last tack hacks for you that go together, and they are for lunging. So the first one is how to tie the reins up when you're lunging your horse. So a lot of people put the reins over the head and then twist them profusely and put the throat latch through, but then the reins are really kinked and twisted, and then sometimes what happens is when it's like that is the loop that the throat latch isn't through will sag down really low like this, and the horse could put a leg through it or something. So a better technique that I actually learned from my dear friend and former working student, Kaylee, is to take the reins together and put them over the offside of the horse's neck so that you have the buckle end here on the left side. And then you are going to take this buckle end and put it around the 2 reins together. And then I'm going to put the throat latch through that loop and then fasten it. So now they're really secure and they can't get any lower than this, and they won't go over the horse's head, and your reins won't be all kinked and twisted for when you ride. And then the last one is a way to attach the lunge line if you're lunging with the bridle. And instead of doing something like putting the lunge line over the horse's head, which pulls on the pole and pulls the bit up in the mouth, kind of like you're strangling them, or some people I see will put it under the chin and clip it here, but then you have the same problem, and you could like nutcracker the bars of their mouth. It's not very comfortable for the horse. So a better solution is to put the lunge line through the bit ring on the side you're going to lunge from, and then you just tie it in a really simple single knot. And you snug that up, and then I'm going to take the clip end and go under the chin. Hi, baby. Go under the chin, and then I'm clipping it to the other bit ring. So then this way, when you use the lunge line lunging to the left, it will put light pressure on the inside bit ring, and it prevents the bit from getting pulled through the mouth, and it will put a little pressure on the outside bit ring if the horse is leaning away from you or resisting. All right, hope you guys found these helpful.